Okay, right off the get-go here, I would like to send out a heartfelt thanks to Rocky's Gear Store in Golden, Colorado, and to Amazon.com for getting me this particular German Solingen made knife in a quick hurry. That'd be in this piece right here, right in the middle. And this is the review that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to go through this slow and not try to get all jittery with caffeine and get in a big hurry like I usually do. That's a joke. Okay, right off the get-go, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, if you go searching the internet on this particular knife right here that I'm getting ready to demo, you're going to find limited information on this knife. I kid you not. When I went to purchase this, when I got wind that Puma was making a model like this, guess what? I went to their German website and their US website. This particular model here is not even listed anywhere. And on the internet, basically, you're going to find limited information on this piece. And I will go through this thoroughly, and I'll tell you what I know, but I'm going to tell you right off the get-go, I do not know everything there is to know about this knife. Okay, I actually had to sit down here and write this down on a piece of paper so I could get this right. But here, ladies and gentlemen, is the official name of this particular German-made Puma. It's a Puma, Germany, Solingen Pathfinder Hunter round stag handled knife. And that just ain't no kidding. And this jobber right here is carrying a serial number of 109. However, it is not stamped on the blade. Why, I'll show you here. Here's the certificate of ownership, if you will, the certification that comes from Puma. All these German-made knives, you know, carry these, but right there, if you can see this, I'll have to hold this kind of, but there it's wrote in German and English both, 109, ladies and gentlemen. And I can assure you, if you go raping through the internet, if you will, I'm just kidding about that, but if you go scouting through the internet, you're not going to find very many of these for sale. So if you like what you see and you find one at a reasonable price, I gave $115 for this guy shipped to the door. But if you find one, get it, do it, pick it up, because I'm really stoked that I was able to get my hands on this knife. The reason why I say that, because I have no idea how many production runs that Puma makes on this knife. I have no idea. For as near as I could figure, this went into production in 1970 up until now. I personally think they have very limited runs of this knife and like that, and I personally believe it's because of the round handled stag. Now let me show you this. It comes in a slip-in sheath. It's not the fanciest thing in the world, you know what I mean? It doesn't have a retaining strap or whatever have you, but I'll forgive Puma for that. But let me pull this piece out here. But before I get into that, let me set this down for a second. I want to get something real straight right off the get-go. Okay, I have a PAL 2 right here, a Puma PAL 2. And I want to use this particular knife as an example because you can see this better, what I want to show you. Okay, right there, can you see that tool mark where this toothpick is right there? Can you see that? All German-made Pumas. That is a stempel, a center punch mark, or whatever have you. It's the final thing that those craftsmen do over there. It's actually a temper check, if you will. But if you're wondering if you've got your hands on an official German-made Puma, this is what you're looking for, is that mark right there. And I'm pretty sure you can see it. And all of them have that tool mark, if you will. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I pointed this out. Okay, let me put this away. And like I say, that's a PAL 2 right here. This particular knife right here is a Pro Hunter. In one of my other YouTube videos, I showed this off. But same thing, tool mark. I don't want to get hung up on this tool mark, but it is proof, if you will. There you can see it pretty well right there, at the end of that toothpick. If you pick up one of them SGB German knives, you know, made in Spain and China and stuff like that, you're not going to see that stempel, that center punch mark. You won't see it. So I just thought I'd point this out. That's the way you can tell if you've got an official German-made knife. Okay. Now, moving on to this, you know, of course, Puma, they pride themselves. They do hand tune. They do a lot of hand tuning on their knives in their German plant. And usually these better Pumas come in these black boxes like this. And this guy here, of course, it's an 11630. Let me pull over here. It's 11630, if you can read that. That's apparently the model designation or whatever have you. But they're calling this a Puma Pathfinder Staghorn, but it's really the long-winded technical name is what I just rendered to you. So I just thought I might want to point that out to you. Okay, now moving on to this particular piece here, we're going to get into this. First of all, like I say, there's a lot of things about this particular knife I don't know, but I can share with you what I do know. Let's start with this handle right here. This is a round handle. Actually, it's got a little flat spot here, but you know, a lot of these Pumas, every handle on a Puma is different. That's what makes them unique. Because there's no way that those craftsmen over there in that Solingen plant could tell those Staghorn, those stags to grow them perfect antlers, if you will. But that's what I love. This is an old school type knife. You know what I mean? This is kind of like how they used to build them. Now, let me grab up something I could point with here so I don't cut my thumb off or whatever have you. Okay, this bolster right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is brass. This may not be desirable for some people. They may not like that because brass has a way of tarnishing. But I don't care because, like I say, I was really stoked to get this knife. There's just not that many floating around. If you don't believe me, get to checking. Because here, last week when I got to scouring and raping through the internet, I found three knives, three of these German-made knives on eBay and one on Amazon. You know, I don't know how many production runs they make or whatever have you. Okay, getting into here. This pummel right here, or this butt plate, that's aluminum. That may not be real desirable or whatever have you. But here again, I don't care because I treat a knife like a knife and not a hammer. Right in here, ladies and gentlemen, you see in this area right here, these are spacers. But I can't really tell what they are. What we've got is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spacers there. And up here, I think it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could have some leather in here. We could have some neoprene. We could have some nylon or whatever have you. All right? But the whole idea behind this, and does this fit my hand? This fits my hand like a glove, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, I am very, very happy to own this knife. I did take, before I turn this video on, I did take and measure this blade. Okay, from the very back of the hilt of the blade, meaning right in here, to the tip of the knife, it's 5 inches long. The actual edge is not quite 5 inches long, but, you know, who cares? For the most part, without getting nitpicky, this is a 5-inch knife. Okay, or a 5-inch blade, excuse me. The blade on this, ladies and gentlemen, is flat browed. I hope you can see that. It's got a little bit of hollow grinding, but not really all that much. It's for the most part an old school flat grind, which is, don't befront me any, because this knife is thin enough where it really doesn't make that much difference. Now you see the backbone on this? Okay, I took a set of calipers before I started up, so I knew what the heck I was talking about here. And what we've got here, I got a note here to make sure I get this right. according to my calipers, the blade thickness, and excuse me, I measured it right in here, okay, but it is a little less than 4 centimeters thick, a little less than 4 centimeters, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just a hair over 1/8 of an inch. It remains a relatively thin knife, but I can guarantee you that this knife is put together very, very well. It is an older school type knife, and if you can find one, buy it, do it. And like I say, I give $115 shipped to the door. I do thank Rocky's Gear Store in Golden, Colorado, and Amazon.com for getting this. Now you can see that tool mark a little bit better on this knife. They've got this tool mark pulled back here on this, you know, it's right there, but it's pretty close to this back hilt or this bolster right here. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen, plain and simple. And this thing rolls around in a kid's hand like this. You see this right here? You try this with some of these goofy knives out there on the market, and you're not going to be able to do that. It's just that simple. And the balance on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. Like I say, I'm very stoked. The weight on this knife is only about 4.5 ounces, something like that. No more than 5 ounces. I know that for a fact. It's just definitely a beautiful knife. It's a knife worth owning. I recommend it. It's that simple. Okay, now the steel in this, I've read different things. A lot of people say that it's 440 stainless, but all I can tell you is it on this blade right here, you probably can't, maybe you can see that writing right there, but it says 10/RC, whatever that is. But I just know that those German people over at that Solingen plant, Puma meaning Puma, they don't screw around when it comes to this, the quality of this metal. It's probably their proprietary mixed steel, good enough for me. I haven't put a stone on it, but as long as I've got that tool mark on this knife, I know it's a good Puma. Plain and simple. And like I say, I hope this video turns out real well, because I don't want to have to re-record this. Okay, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Pathfinder Hunter round Staghorn handled knife by Puma. Thank you very much for the review.